Fight Time Network. Welcome back to Fight Time Network, y'all. We have amazing card this weekend, UFC 317. We've been waiting on this one for a while. Ilia Topuria versus Charles the Bronx Oliveira up in the building. We also have Alexandra Pantoja defending his title against Kai Kara France. How are we doing, Lee? How was your weekend?
It was fabulous, man. I competed myself yesterday. Got submission of the night, ninja choke, man, all day long. Favorite move to do in jiu-jitsu. It was a great experience. Looking at staying in shape and keeping up there, man. It's fun. It's sharpening the tools in the mind, the analytics. It's fun. I love training. I love analyzing. It's what we do here at Fight Time.
Well, congratulations on the win, Lee. I know you've been training your ass off. Good job. And now we got to shout out CJ UFC Picks up in the building. How's it going, CJ?
What's going on, man? Thanks for the invite. I really appreciate it. I love being on this podcast, second time on. Really appreciate the invite, and I'm ready to break down this card.
Hell yeah. We are actually going to start this breakdown down with the featured prelim card. Jack Hermanson, 24-8, coming up against Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez, 16-6. Oh, I'm leaning towards RoboCop Lee here. You got me any good reasons why I should shift over to old Jack Hermanson?
I don't have any reasons for you to shift over to Jack Hermanson because I agree with you. I think RoboCop is the take on this. And the reason for that is that he struggles a lot with power strikers, and Hermanson is not that. I think the grappling, he's going to be able to keep up with what Hermanson presents. It's going to be a great affair. And I think ultimately, both of their experiences in grappling, we're going to see something similar to what we saw with Chiesa and Court McGee a couple weeks back, where it turns into a striking affair. And if that's the case, we've got RoboCop all night long.
That's what I am talking about. Oh man, it's just like watching him look back, fight against Piper too. Really think he would have won that fight. Piper didn't fully gas out, but we'll see. RoboCop kind of got a little looked kind of bad against Cannoneer. That was a hell of a war, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
What you thinking, CJ?
I think RoboCop gets it done. I think he's a
Nip.
more powerful puncher in this fight. I think he's the faster fighter in this fight, and I think he has the more dog, even though he's the favorite, right? He's the favorite in this fight, but I believe he's got what it takes, and I think this fight is gonna go under 1.5 rounds, bro.
That is probably a good possibility. What do you think, Lee? Over under 1.5 this week.
With two grapplers, I never really like that under 1.5. Statistically, the under 1.5s are probably the least that land the most, especially like, I mean, if it was two strikers going at it or a specific striker and grappler and one was weaker than the other, but they're both pretty evenly matched in the grappling. And it's Robocop that has the advantage of the striking. So I think it's going to go a little bit later into the second if we do see a finish. But Rodriguez by decision isn't a bad take at all. Although the under 1.5 is there for fireworks. I mean, if Hermanson comes in a little bit too desperate early on, or he doesn't like what he's feeling from Rodriguez, then I could see the under happening. But I'm leaning more towards a decision by Rodriguez.
Hell yeah. When's the last time Rodriguez got a really good knockout? Got knocked out by Cannoneer last year, decision. Knocked out Brad Tavares round three. Here we go. 2023 against Denise Tuyawulian. Round one KO. So that's always a possibility there. You never know with RoboCop, man. He throws them straights, them straight punches. Could end the night for Hermanson quick or vice versa, truthfully. Moving on to your main card, UFC 317. Gonna have a 5 fight main card this Saturday. Peyton Talbot getting back in the cage, 9-1 against the always dangerous Felipe Lima. Who you got here, CJ?
I got Peyton Talbot, man. He is a plus 155 last time I checked, which I think is an excellent number for him this week. There's a lot of recency bias, like I told you before we started the show, just because he lost to Ryan Barcelos. But obviously, Ryan Barcelos is more experienced and has fought better competition. But now he's fighting another prospect, and I think that Talbot is the better prospect in this fight. I like Felipe Lima, don't get me wrong, great fighter. I just think Talbot bounces back here and he's gonna cash my dog bet.
It is not a bad act, I guess you say, to see Peyton Talbot. He's young, 26, bouncing back from kind of a fight to where he just got put in a position and he kind of could not transition out of it. I mean, Barcelos, yeah, just kind of laid on him and did that, but it just showed a part of Talbot's wrestling that was exploitable. Why dunk the cookie in the milk if you don't have to? You know what I mean? That's always my thought on that one. What's your thoughts on this one, Lee?
I agree with Peyton Talbot. Ultimately, Lima's not going to present experience and patience that Barcelos has developed over the years. And if I'm not mistaken, in Lima's last fight, it was come from behind for like a third round finish, I believe that he got. I could be wrong there, but I feel like his last time out, he dropped a couple of rounds before getting it back. Where if you drop a couple of rounds against Peyton Talbot, that's not a good strategy. You're not getting a third back if you do that against Talbot. I think Lima's got a little bit more holes in the striking that Peyton Talbot could ultimately exploit. I don't think he's going to close and sort of rush and take away that distance from Talbot the way we saw Barcelos do. So I think this is going to be another one of those that Talbot runs away with. I think if we did, like CJ said, if we didn't see the Barcelos fight, we'd probably be paying minus 500 for another Talbot fight. So yeah,
That's
it's a
true.
great price.
That is true. And Talbot coming in at a plus 170 right now. I can't believe it went up. You say
Plus
it was at a
170
plus,
now?
he's at a plus 170 right now.
I'm at the oh man, I missed a little bit of money on that, but
So,
that's
well, as
okay.
I'm seeing it here, the fighting fans, looking like Peyton Talbot got fraud checked, and they think he's really on that level, man. They don't think he's going to be bouncing back. Hmm. You can't, even if Talbot does drop this fight, you can't not take plus 170 odds on this boy to bounce back and the potential he has to get this win. I wouldn't necessarily say he will finish Felipe Lima, but I can see him squeaking out 2 rounds.
Yeah, and yeah, no, that was his second last fight. Muhammad Naimov, he dropped a couple rounds to
Naimov, yep.
Naimov and came back and finished him in the third. And yeah, if you're dropping a couple of rounds against Talbot, you're probably dropping the third too. You're not. There's no comeback.
Moving on to this fight here, and man, this fight was supposed to be set up back. Moicano end up getting a title fight, kind of everybody went as everybody expected it to, really. But Benail Dariush, 22-6-1, coming up against Hanato Moicano, 26-1. Damani, what you thinking about this one here, Lee? I have liked Dariush actually since the beginning when they started setting this up, truthfully.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about that earlier today about how Beneil Dariush and Islam Makhachev is like this generation's Khabib and Tony, man. Just a fight we never got. But I like Moicano in this one. I mean, there's obviously a reason why Moicano got the backup shot over Dariush. Moicano's got a lot more grit. I think the grappling experience between them is ultimately even, and it's going to come down to a war of attrition, which we've seen Moicano win time and time again. So I really like Hanato in this. I haven't checked the odds, but if it's plus money, it's all money Moicano.
Benail Dariush coming in at plus 120. Moicano looking at a minus 142 right now, Lee.
Sounds about right.
For me, I'll probably put Peyton Talbot and Dariush in a parlay. Little skippy doodah for me. What do you think about CJ?
I think that Manny Moicano is an absolute lock in this fight. Look at this. Dariush hasn't won a fight since 2022, and he hasn't fought since 2023. So he's been inactive. Moicano has been active, and he was on a tear before he fought Islam Makhachev. I think Moicano's gonna run through Dariush minus 142, you said?
Yep.
That's a fucking steal.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, it's still not going to sway me. I'm going to stick to my books of back when they were supposed to fight the first time. So I like both of them's wins. We'll see. Even though Moicano does have a nice win over Saint Denis, that fight was dope. Turner, Dober, and Riddell. Oh, I'm gonna stay in my path. Stay in my path. I might just have Peyton. I might separate it. I don't do parlays too often too either, so I might have to separate that. But I'm not passing up a plus 170 on Talbot, my friends. So that's definitely gonna be a part of the game. Moving on to this one. Brandon Royval, 17-7, coming up against the newest prodigy in the UFC, I'd say as of lately, dog Joshua Vaughn, 14-2. What you think, CJ?
I think this is gonna be a great fight,
Great
but
fight.
great fight. But I'm gonna have to go with the raw dog, Brandon Royval, just because he's fought better competition, has more experience. He's been in championship fights, and Joshua Van is a huge up and coming prospect. He has a bright future in the UFC. I just think that Royval is just better when it comes to fighting, and he's gonna win this fight. I got him in the parlay, bro.
Brandon Royval right now coming in at minus 115 against Joshua Vaughn, the underdog coming in at minus 105. I don't know what the hell to say about this because Revol's it's a 3 round fight. If it was 5 rounds, I'd be all over Brandon Royval. But I don't know, man. Joshua Vaughn, I think, is going to come up here and stun everybody at 23 years old. Am I reading that right? Is he really 23? Damn. No
Yep.
way. Born in 2001, so he's turned 24. It must be barely. Wow. At 23 years old, coming against Brandon Royval at 32 years old. Man, this is a hard picker. If it stays on the feet, I don't know. What do you think, Lee?
I think I'm gonna have to go with CJ again. Man, we ain't disagreeing on anything tonight. But nonetheless, yeah, I think Brandon Royval is the guy that's going to be able to bring the pace to Joshua Van. Plus, Joshua Van, I swear he fought like last week. I know that's probably exaggerated, but very, very recently, within the last
2 weeks
month.
ago.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he's coming back to take on a championship contender like Brandon Royval. I think he needs more time in between doing that in order to be set. I mean, Joshua Van did get knocked out by Charles Johnson. He has dropped takedowns to Cody Durden, and Royval is going to be somebody that's going to be able to match his striking pace. He's going to eat his shots, and he's going to be able to get him to the ground a lot better and a lot more technically than Durden had. So I like Royval in this matchup. You know, if Joshua Van would take a little bit more time in between to get set up with this, I certainly think he would have a little bit of better shot. But even that, I think Royval's locked in right now, and we're gonna see him take it to Van. And you know what? I could even see potentially Royval finishing Van in this fight.
Ooh, that'd be dirty. That'd be crazy. I don't even know who to pick in this fight. Truthfully, I'm gonna stay off of it. But you guys got great reasons why Roval should come over Joshua Vaughn this Saturday. If I had to pick, I'm taking Vaughn. Fuck it. It's a
You're
coin flip,
crazy.
man. It really is. When's the last time Roval fight? He beat Tara, what, 3 months ago? Last year?
Yeah.
Two of Tara. Yeah, that was a crazy fight too.
Another point there too. I think Joshua Van ultimately should have finished Bruno Silva probably a couple rounds earlier than he did. Uh,
Yeah.
several openings, and it took him till the third to finally, take it to him. So I think Royval is going to be on that pressure. He's going to be countering a lot more earlier, and it's gonna be a true test for Van. But ultimately, I think Royval's looking to bounce back to championship. I think he wants the winner of the next fight up.
Yep.
Uh, going to certainly walk through Van for that.
Moving on to your co-main event of UFC 317, Alexandre Pantoja, 29-5, coming up against Kai Kara France, 25-11. Who you got, Lee? You think Pantoja gonna get another dub and keep that belt? You think Kai Kara France coming in to take it, boy?
I certainly think Pantoja's got this. I mean, we've seen Kai Kara France's performances against Brandon Moreno. We've seen how Pantoja's held up against Brandon Moreno. Pantoja is just a squirrely, well-rounded, crazy fighter, man. You know that he's not going to accept any little bit of a grappling takedown. He's going to scramble right out of them. He's going to be in your face with a 5 round pace from the first bell and be probably even fresher in the last minute than he was in the third. So I think Kai Kara France, we've seen him in championship situations. I think Pantoja is going to wilt him. I think the pace is going to be too much for France, and ultimately Pantoja is going to get another one under his belt.
You think he finishes him inside the distance, CJ?
Absolutely. Me and Lee agree once again, man. No, I'm serious, because I think Pantoja is the greatest flyweight that we've seen in a long, long time. He has been on a tear, and he's just one of the best, man. He really is. I think he's going to beat Kai Kara France, and I think Pantoja's another lock on this card, bro.
Oh shit. Coming in at a minus 265. Kai Kara fans plus 215. That's not a line I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna take Pantoja with you all, and I feel like the grappling is gonna be the big deal here. I mean, Kai Kara France, yeah, he can come in, maybe catch him on the feet, which he has a couple of his fights. But I just don't think rounds two and three, Pantoja is really going to start to wear on him. And he's not going to be the type just going to run away. Once he knows he's a step above his gas tank. He's going to start making Kai Kara France use his. And I say Pantoja gets a finish here. UFC 317 within five. It's probably going to be my go-to. Moving on to your main event, UFC 317. Fireworks in the building, y'all. Ela the Matador Taporia, 16-0. Coming up against Charles the Bronx Oliveira, 35-10. El Matador is going to take it. I say El Matador. Ela Taporia gets the strap around his waist. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. Definitely going to be Ilia Taporia in this one. He's, when you're dealing with two guys that have equal grappling experience, and one guy has the better hands, which is Taporia, you're always going with the guy with the better hands. We've seen Charles get hit before. His grappling is reactionary, meaning he needs the other guy to make a mistake in order to capitalize on it. I don't think with the pressure and the boxing that we're going to see any of that slick jujitsu come in. I don't think the mistakes are going to present itself from Taporia. And I mean, he's got a history of getting cracked early, and that's not a risk you can play against Ilia Taporia.
And I'm going to go pretty much the same fights you did. Or not the same fights, the same way, like the way he was taken out, almost got taken out by Michael Chandler. First, and doesn't they fight twice? Why isn't that on his list? Am I in the wrong? Didn't Oliveira fight Chandler twice?
No, I think the first time they're trying to set it up might have got canceled, and then they rescheduled it.
Son of a bitch.
Or yeah, they did fight twice. Man, oh man, I'm getting old. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, well, I can't blame you. The other one was back in 2021, long
yeah.
time ago. And yes, we are getting old, Lee. But pretty much he came back from those fights like it was reactionary, like you said.
Yeah.
And him catching a clip like that, like he did from Iron Man, I don't. Tapore's sleeping when it comes to that. He's not going to be able to run away and then Chandler gets him tired. Tapore's going to wait, sit, hit
Yeah.
him again, and Oliveira on the feet's not going to be able to catch Taporia like the vice versa. I don't. If he gets hit like he let Chandler hit him, he's going to go to sleep. That's my thought on that. Taporia coming in at a minus 455. Oliveira at a plus 350. CJ, what you got?
I think that Ilya Taporia is the ultimate lock of the card.
You have
UFC
like
37.
15 locks.
No, this is the ultimate lock though. And he's gonna get it done by knockout in under 3 rounds. You heard it here
Mm,
first, folks. I promise you that. Put all your
under
money on
three.
it. I'm gonna put $500 on Taporia by KO.
I love it. I wonder what that's going to come out to. Ooh, they got winning method already. No shit. Ilia Topuria by knockout minus 160.
I love it. Give me
I
that all
love
day.
it.
Give me that all day.
Oh man. Watch him sub him.
I'll do inside the distance.
By finish minus 225. That's actually not that bad. Whew.
That's a good parlay piece right there.
That is a good parlay piece. You drop $500 on him, make 222. That's a rough spat.
What about the one minus 160 KO?
312.
I'll
Ooh.
take that. I'll take that. I like that.
Not bad. Hell yeah. Well, that about wraps it up for Fight Time Network. You got anything for anybody, Lee?
Yeah, man, be sure to check out our winnable this weekend, man. We not only are we going to have some premium picks for UFC, maybe CJ wants to treat us to one of his good parlays, but ultimately last week we went against Jake Hadley in the PFL, cashed. We went against Brent Primus in the PFL, cashed. There's
Ooh,
another PFL card we're going to have up there this weekend. There's two Cage Warriors cards, and of course, the UFC 317. In honor of UFC 317, you'll get every premium play that we have up there, and maybe a little spice from CJ. $17. Let's do it.
let's do it. So I'm talking about. You got anything left, CJ?
You can catch me on TikTok, CJ UFC Picks, Instagram, CJ UFC Picks, and Twitter, X, CJ UFC Picks. I drop all my plays for free, all my picks for free. So check me out. Thank you so much, Fight Time Network. I really
Hell,
appreciate it.
Hell yeah. See y'all next week.
boom.
Fight Time Network.